Do you struggle to sleep at night? Perhaps it's because your partner needs something to combat their snoring problem. Are you confused about which supplements you should be taking? Do you want to find the right kind of exercise equipment for your home? Or maybe you're just looking for the best electric shaver. Which has hundreds of product reviews to keep you fit, eat well, sleep better, and everything in between. Just head to which.co.uk/health to read our expert insight and independent reviews. Get expert advice and recommendations to live your best life every day with Which.
Pro? Pro Max? Pro XL? Ultra? Is it really worth paying more for a fancy premium phone? Hello, it's James Rowe here with a brand new episode of Which Shorts, the podcast that gives you a free weekly insight into our suite of magazines. This week I'm bringing you a piece that James O'Malley wrote alongside our mobile phones expert Adam Spate for the December-January issue of Which Tech, all about what manufacturers are offering in their flagship phones. Now, every year, three of the biggest names, that's Apple, Google and Samsung, show off not only a new standard handset, but usually 2 or 3 devices which all have varying degrees of tech specs. So how do you weigh up which one is right for you, all while bearing in mind the eye-watering costs? Well, here's their piece, adapted for the podcast this week, read by Adam himself.
If you want an insight into human psychology, look at the speedometer on a car. Even though UK law means you can't drive faster than 70 miles per hour, the dial goes further. We want to own cars that can, in theory, travel even faster, just in case. It's a human weakness that we see repeated everywhere. We want the dishwasher tablets with the Powerball, or we upgrade our seats to premium economy because we know they're better, even though it sometimes isn't clear how. And we treat our phones the same way. Take the latest iPhone for example. Sure, you could buy the standard iPhone 17 for £799, but what about the Pro model for an extra £300? Or the Pro Max model with a larger screen for a further £100 on top of that? It's the same approach for Google. Its latest flagship device, the Pixel 10, starts at £799. But there's also a Pro model that starts at just less than £1,000, and a Pro XL for just under £1,200. It's even more confusing for Samsung, with a dizzying array of different models for its latest S25 series, but the same principles apply. The basic model starts at £759, and there are variants all the way up to the S25 Ultra at £1,349. But step outside the S25 family, and some Samsung phones sell for much less. The budget Galaxy A17 starts at just £169, which even at that lower price will still allow you to watch YouTube, send WhatsApps, and get this, even take calls. So what's the difference between standard flagship phones and their Pro counterparts? Well, it's typically 4 different things: the aesthetics, performance, display, and camera. Take the iPhone 17 for instance. It has 2 different lenses and can zoom in up to 2x. This pales in comparison with the iPhone 17 Pro, which has 3 lenses, crucially adding a telephoto, which makes it possible to zoom in up to 5x and still get a crisp shot of your subject. Also, the 17 Pro has an extra sensor, a LiDAR sensor, which the camera uses to help it autofocus as you shoot. This improves photos taken in low light, day or night. But cameras aren't the only difference to think about. Premium hardware is usually differentiated in other ways too, like batteries, where premium models typically switch out the standard battery for something larger. Take the Samsung S25. It has a 4000 mAh battery that will charge at 25 watts, but the Ultra bumps it up to 5000 mAh and 45 watts charging speed. And yes, while that's a lot of numbers, what it means in practice is that the Ultra can store 20% more energy than the regular model, and will charge up much faster. What about the other hardware differences? The most recent Pro iPhones have an extra button on the right hand side to conveniently launch the camera app. And the Samsung S25 Ultra, it includes a miniature stylus, or S Pen if you will, built into the phone's case. You can take it out and use it to scribble notes or draw more easily than just with your fingers. The chips and the RAM on the manufacturer's Pro models are different too. which makes it possible to do certain unique things that regular models are simply not capable of. For example, Google's Pixel 10 Pro has the unique ability to shoot in 8K, a far higher resolution than other phones can muster. And slightly less practically, the iPhone 17 Pro can even shoot videos in an ultra high quality format known as ProRes. This format is so good that it's sometimes used by big budget Hollywood movies, such as Danny Boyle's recent 28 Years Later, which used Apple's devices for much of the film. But meaningful hardware and software differences aren't the entire story. Premium smartphones will usually command a higher resale or trade-in value. Let's say you want to upgrade an aging iPhone 11, released way back in 2019. If you trade it back to Apple, you could earn yourself up to £105, but if you trade in the Pro version, you can score yourself £140. But the flip side to this is that premium phones make for a tastier target for thieves. In October, the Metropolitan Police busted a gang suspected of being responsible for sending up to 40,000 stolen phones to China, with criminals targeting pricier phones due to their resale value. It was so lucrative that thieves were being paid up to £300 per handset. So is it time to wait? Do you really need a fancy premium phone? Clearly, many people think they do, as, contrary to what you might expect, each year, the Pro model iPhone tends to be the best seller compared with its more modest sibling. But realistically, unless you're a particularly heavy mobile user, or have a specialised professional need, or perhaps just a desperate desire to look your best on Instagram, then most people can probably live with the standard model. Think about what you'll actually use it for. Photography? Then a Pro might be worth it, as cameras are one of the few tangible areas of improvement. But even if you can use that fancy ProRes mode, unless you're shooting a blockbuster, you're very unlikely to use it. Just a few seconds of footage could fill up your phone's entire storage. The same goes for other features. Is scribbling your handwriting really faster than you can type on a phone's virtual keyboard? If you're still undecided, there's a third option the phone manufacturers don't like to tell you about. If you want these extras but balk at the price, you could just wait. These three major manufacturers update their flagship phones annually, and each year we see last year's Pro features trickle down into the standard model. It turns out patience isn't just a virtue. In a tech world, it's a massive money saver.
That brings to an end another podcast from Which. There's loads more for you to read about everything we discussed today. Just head to the episode description for more useful everyday advice. There you'll also find an exclusive offer for podcast listeners like you to become a Which member for 50% off the usual price, giving you access to our product reviews, our app, one-to-one personalised buying advice and every issue of Which magazine across the year. Plus, your membership helps us to make life simpler, fairer and safer for everyone. If you'd like to know when we release a new episode, then make sure you press subscribe wherever you're listening. That way you can be one of the first to listen. And for any questions, comments or anything in between, follow us on social media at WhitchUK or email us podcasts@which.co.uk. Goodbye.
If you're enjoying this podcast from us here at Which, then why not become a Which member? Right now, we've got a special offer, especially for podcast listeners, meaning you can choose any of our 3 membership tiers for 50% off the usual price. Starting at just £39.50 for a full year, you can get Which magazine delivered direct to your door. For the same price, you could also choose a digital Which subscription, giving you access to all of our product reviews, the Which app, and the digital edition of Which magazine. What's more, you'll also be able to use the Ask Which service for personalised one-to-one buying advice. Or why not get a full access Which subscription for just £49.50 for a full year? Don't forget, that's 50% off the usual price. To join Which or to find out more, just head to which.co.uk/podcast offer. That's which.co.uk/podcast offer. Or click the link in the description for today's podcast for 50% off a Which annual subscription.